Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices, and starting with the SP 500 here. We've got a couple of different counts for this, but whichever count that we look at, we're certainly going to hit resistance at the 2,800 level, which is a minor level, and it's a profit-taking level as well. There is a few more little resistances just before that as well, but we'll look at that on the intraday basis. But it's always nice to discuss the bigger picture for these markets as well. So in this case here on this chart, we've got wave 3 here with an A wave here, an A and a B, and 5 waves up for a C wave here of wave B, and then 5 waves down through here. I think it's interesting too that if I can just borrow this here for a second, and we'll look at one of the counts that we've got for the European markets, which is kind of interesting, and it can work for here as well, and we'll look at it on the NASDAQ more so, but we could have this over here, wave C and 4 finished over here, so we would have this wave, an A and a B and a C here for wave 4, that's possible, and this 5 waves up here as wave 1 here, and then a 50-60% retracement level for wave 2 here, and then move up for wave 3. That's something that we're playing with on the European markets, and it could work on the NASDAQ and Amazon and a few of those sort of stocks as well. So I just thought that I would introduce it here today, but not that it's going to make any difference at this stage. But if we do have a top here and we do come down here, then this 1 and 2 is something that we'll be looking at, but for the time being we can just move that back over here and we can work with that a little bit later. So on a more bullish count that we've been looking at too, is also worth just going back over here again as well, is this one here where we have wave 3 here, an A wave, B, C, D and E here for wave 4, and then up for 1 here and back for 2 here. And as I've mentioned before, because we would be in a third wave here and a third of a third, we'd want to see this move off quite strongly through here. So we would probably, because it's in a third wave, when it hits the 2,800, we would only see a very small reaction from this level. I mean, it's already played out here twice. Well, I consider this 2,800 here, but this one certainly we can use that. But what I'm saying is that, you know, it's done its business here before, so it doesn't need to do a lot here again. So we'll be watching this level. So trading long up into this space is really what we're sort of considering and looking at here. So our job really this week has been, you know, counting this trend to the upside here, and that's what we'll just do again today and have a closer look at that. So maybe I can just go to the hourly chart here. Now this is I've got this count here where we've got wave 1, wave 2 here, 5 waves for wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then going up for 5. So that can have 5 waves, that can be like that. And one of the reasons to support that was the cash market here. So this is a 15-minute chart, and we could look at it as wave 1 here, wave 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 1, 2, right, yes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then 1 and 2 and see, yeah, this is still a corrective pattern here. See how it's got the A and the B and the C here? I know in a lot of markets we can count this as 5 waves down, but in the cash market here it's still 3. So we would have to look at this as 1 and 2, 3, 4, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 5 moving up here. This area here is really significant as well, because not only is it group 2, which is basically 765, so 65, 72 and 80, but also here we've got 2772. So those, I don't know why that is, but when you get the 7s and the 2s together, in this case it's 772, but it could be 2 272. So for some reason, when we get those, they seem to play a strong part and they can be used. So I've taken, in a nutshell, I've taken that count and applied it to this point here. If you've been trading long here, then would want to keep the stop under this current low here, 1 point below that. And the idea is to look higher for Friday session. But a strong closing on Friday can also run through on the Monday as well with that momentum. So, and then the profit taking comes in on Tuesday. So just be mindful of that. This count here can also be counted in more of a bullish count as well. But this is a conservative count, and we should work with the conservative count. But what we can work with is that if this low is taken out here, then you need to be on the short side, just in case I'm wrong for whatever reason, because then that would create overlapping wave structures. So that's a critical point, that low there. And the 2,772 here is really important within group 2 as support. You could go long on that. And this number here is really significant as well. I think the 2-hour chart, we had a bigger picture. This is another way to count it to the upside as well, looking at this as wave 2 here, then wave 1 and wave 2 here, and then looking all at this here as wave 1 and 2 here, and then the third wave building out through here. We'll see what type. We can expect a reaction from here, but it would be nice to see how large that is, and it'll also be important what the stocks in the NASDAQ are doing, because they're driving it, and also in the European markets as well. I don't think the tick chart can do us too much here, no, but support on the 272 here will be the catalyst for the further upside here. And the NASDAQ. So with the NASDAQ here, we can look at this as being wave 3 here, an A wave, a B wave, a C wave, a D and an E here, and then we've got 5 waves up here. We've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So we could also call that wave 1. We can look at this, how it's going to finish here. I think that looking at the S&P and looking at this, we can have another move up here. But the main point here is that we could also look at this being 5 waves of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for wave 1. So up here for wave 1, an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, and then moving up here further into wave 3. Or we can have this as wave B over here. So in this case, it would be, it's just possible. So in this case here, we would put the A wave over here, the B wave here, and the C wave here, and then this here would be an A and a B and a C for the A wave, an A and a B and a C here for the B wave, and then 5 waves down here. So we would obviously we need to gather the evidence for that. So we don't really need to hit all the panic buttons just sort of yet with that. We'll just gather the evidence as it unfolds. But it is there, and it is possible for that to occur. But our main job is to, has been focused on this trend to the upside here from this low of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then 5 up here, and then looking for the 5 waves in this structure here. So I'm not sure what charts I've been working on, but let's just see. Okay, so this is just a 4-hour chart here. So we can look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Not a problem with that one. And then ABC for wave 4, and then looking up for wave 1 here and wave 2 here. In this case here, we can look at this as 1 and 2 and then 3 here. It's also possible that I've made a mistake in here, and we can come into this space here and have wave 3 here and wave 4 here, and we're still looking up for wave 5. That would be the other count here. But the main point here is that we don't want to see, look, let's just say that we don't want to see 7,000. If 7,100 becomes breached or basically the resistance, then we know that we've got a top in place. But otherwise, we can look maybe an A and a B and a C, and then further up here to finish that off here. So yeah, I'll just see what I've done on the hourly chart and the others. Okay, yeah, so I've played it out this way here as well. So the move down here in this instance appears to be in 5 waves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I'll just check that on the tick chart. If that's correct, then we'll get a B wave up into the 50-60% area, and then wave C down here. As I mentioned, 7,100, that becomes a retested resistance, and we need to be on the short side from that point. I'll just check on that. I don't know if I've updated that. Just yeah, so we can see here that we've got wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and wave 5. So we do have a resistance there, and the 50-60% retracement level would be somewhere in here, I'd imagine. So just in here. So really we could look at, I mean, that's definitely 5 waves here, so we can look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here. So I can't draw on this side here, but what we can do is we can just check this in as an I won't bother too much in there, but yeah, let's just leave it like that there. So 72, I've got a 72 here as well, so it's really important, so I'll just highlight that there. But this group 2 here will be the resistance here. That's the 61.8%, just above that there. Then we've got group 2, so it'll be 72 in here and 65 in here. So technically we can look for a short trade here based on this 5-wave structure here. So 5-wave impulse wave, ABC correction, and may not be like that too. So let me just have a look in here. That's probably the A wave here, and then we're going to get the B wave coming down into here, probably just down to this point, and then up into here. So I was looking at this as an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, a little bit close. I'm not too sure. I won't spend too much time on it. I want to have a look at Amazon. So Amazon here, just on the daily chart, we've had this correction down here, and we can see that Amazon's leading the pack. There's probably other stocks as well, because it's taken out this high here. It's okay too to call this, by the way, an A wave here and a B wave up here, but I'm not really getting that from this particular structure here. So our idea is that we need to count this as an impulse wave coming up through here. And I'm not quite sure about the 1 and the 2 here yet. We'll just have to see about how things play out with the S&P and some of the other markets there as well. But our aim is to, from this low here, is to count 5 waves moving to the upside here. So just on the have I got the 4-hour chart here? Nope. 1-hour chart. Okay, this do the trick. Okay, so look, it's a little bit dodgy, and it could probably be counted differently, but I've got this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then wave 1 and 2 here, and then the 3rd wave up here, then an A and a B and a C for the 4th wave, and then coming up for the 3rd wave here, then a 4th wave, and then a 5th wave up here. I suppose you could look at it also too as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 1 and ABC for wave 2 here, but the problem with that is that wave 2 here overlaps the top of wave 1 here, so it really, doesn't sort of work out very nicely like that. You could probably also look at this as wave 1 here, an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here for wave 2. So that means that wave 2 would actually be here, and then would have wave 3 here, and then wave 4 here, and then wave 5 coming into play on this top here. So this top will be important whichever way we look at it. So we need to now break down this particular pattern from here to here. So let's do that. So we know that 1650, no, that 15 is a medium level and 1650 is a medium level. Of course, numbers like 1700 are important, but to me 1650 is more important than 1600 and 1700. 1800 is a minor level, so that needs to go on its own merits there, number 8. So our job really is to count from here, count 5 waves up to this space here. So I'm not sure if I've done that on the tick chart or not. Okay, so not too bad here. So yeah, so from this low here, we're looking at this as 1 and 2 and all of the third wave here. This is the 38.2% retracement level here for wave 4. And once that's completed, we should see wave 5 move up into 1720, 1730, may even stretch up higher into the 1750 area here. Yeah, certainly looking at this as a corrective pattern here. It can play out as an A wave down to here, and doesn't really look quite nice there and there. Anyway, 1670 is the 38.2% retracement level, but it could be finished here in terms of an A wave here, an A and a B and a C here for the B wave and down for the C wave. So it can be finished here, or it can get a little bit uglier and end up down here somewhere on that level here. On the 1700, if it gets support on that, then it's back above the supply levels. So nice tested support on that would see the market higher from that point, and you can trade it making new highs above this one here. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in to Trading Lounge. Appreciate it. Cheers.